Welcome to the third and final part in my series about choosing lanes at roundabouts. This video looks at choosing lanes at multi-lane roundabouts. My previous videos have looked at how we choose lanes when there are only 2 lanes on the roundabout. But on larger roads, when you get to a roundabout, it might have 3, 4, 5 or even 6 lanes. This is what we call a multi-lane roundabout. A multi-lane roundabout will have lane markings painted on the road surface to guide you around the roundabout. As long as you pick the correct lane in the first place, it's as simple as following the lines on the road to guide you around the roundabout and safely off it. Generally, at least one lane will drop off the roundabout at each exit, and the roundabout works in a spiral fashion. Imagine we're following the pink line in the picture. We start in lane 3 with 2 lanes of traffic on our left. As we pass the first exit, the orange lane drops off the roundabout rather than continuing around it. So now we are in lane 2 with only 1 lane of traffic on our left. And as we pass the second exit, the green lane drops off the roundabout. Now we are in lane 1 with no traffic on our left, and so it's safe for us to leave the roundabout at the next exit. So our lane has spiralled from near the centre of the roundabout to the outer edge. We don't actually change lane on the roundabout, we just follow the lane markings. The lane does all the work of moving us across the roundabout into a safe position ready to leave. Multi-lane roundabouts have to work in this way. If they didn't, imagine joining in lane 4 with 3 lanes of traffic on your left. Then trying to exit the roundabout across those 3 lanes of traffic. You'd never find a safe gap, you'd be on the roundabout forever. Because they spiral in this way, multi-lane roundabouts are able to handle large volumes of traffic safely through the junction. The 2 key skills for being able to handle multi-lane roundabouts safely are, firstly, choosing the correct lane early and positioning into it early. And secondly, staying in that lane as you go around the roundabout and letting the lane markings guide you safely around the roundabout and off it. We won't always know we're going to encounter a multi-lane roundabout until we're very close to it. When we're in the position shown by the yellow box here, there are only 2 lanes on the approach. So our normal roundabout strategy would apply, choosing the left lane if we're taking the first or the second exit, and choosing the right lane only if we're leaving at the last exit, exit number 3. As we get nearer to the roundabout, the road widens. Each of our existing lanes becomes 2 lanes. The left lane widens out to become lane 1 and lane 2, and the right lane widens out to become lane 3 and lane 4. A good strategy for approaching multi-lane roundabouts is simply to match your lane number to your exit number. So use lane 1 for exit 1, lane 2 for exit 2, and lane 3 for exit 3. This diagram shows approaching in lane 1 and following lane 1 to get to exit 1. This diagram shows approaching in lane 2 and following lane 2 to get to exit 2. And no surprises, this diagram shows following lane 3 to get to exit number 3. Once you've chosen your lane, it's important that you stay in your lane as you follow it around the roundabout. Following the line on the right hand edge of your lane will draw you further around the roundabout, keeping you on the roundabout, while following the line on the left of your lane will draw you towards the exit and off the roundabout. So follow the line on your right to stay in your lane and follow the roundabout. When it's time to leave, follow the line on your left to draw you off the roundabout. So now, let's look at this in practice. We're going to join the roundabout where the yellow box is on the diagram. We're going to join in lane 2 and follow this lane to exit number 2. As we see the roundabout warning sign, there are only 2 lanes. We want to go ahead, exit 2, to Aerospace Centre. So at this point, we'll choose the left-hand lane. Now the road widens out and our lane splits into 2 lanes. We can see 4 lanes in total, so we know this is a multi-lane roundabout. So we follow our strategy of matching our lane number to our exit number. Since we want to go to exit number 2, we're going to position into lane number 2. Notice as well that lane number 1, next to the curb, has a left-only arrow in it. This confirms that lane number 1 is not the correct lane for us because we don't want to turn left. Also notice the arrow in lane 2. This one is a combination of a left arrow and a straight on arrow. This means that lane 2 has the choice to either turn off at exit 1 or continue around the roundabout, whereas lane 1 has no choice and must leave at the first exit. As we join the roundabout, we need to focus on following the line on our right to ensure that we stay in our lane and are drawn further around the roundabout. Notice the way the white car ahead of us follows the line on the left and so is drawn off the roundabout. Notice also that lane 1 drops off the roundabout at this point and all the traffic in lane 1 leaves at exit 1. You can clearly see the split in our lane at this point and the choice that we have to make. If we choose to follow the line on the left, we'll be drawn off the roundabout in the same way the white car was. But we don't want to leave the roundabout at exit 1, so we choose to follow the line on the right instead, which will draw us further round the roundabout. Notice now that all the traffic which was on our left when we joined the roundabout has now gone. Because lane 1 dropped off the roundabout at the first exit, all that traffic went with it. We joined in lane 2, but as lane 1 dropped off, our lane became the new lane 1. We now have no traffic on our left, just a curb, and this makes it safe for us to leave at the next exit. Again, it's important to note we haven't changed lanes. We have followed our lane and the lane markings have put us in a safe position ready to leave at the next exit. Because we want to leave at this exit, we now swap to following the line on our left, which happens to be the curb, to draw us off the roundabout. Now let's look at a different example. It's the same roundabout and we'll be joining in the same place. But this time we want to leave at exit number 3, so we're going to be following lane number 3. We want to turn right exit 3, so while there are only 2 lanes, we pick the right hand lane to turn right. As the road widens out and we see multiple lanes, we pick lane 3 for exit 3. As we stop at the lights, we scan the road ahead to check out where we're going to be going. We can clearly see the 2 lines which make up our lane. And we're going to focus on following the line on the right, because we don't want to leave the roundabout yet. We want to continue round until we reach exit number 3. We want to follow the line on the right until we've passed exit 2, and at that point we'll follow the line on the left to leave at exit 3. This is exit 1, so continue following the line on the right. 1 lane's dropped off, we're now in lane 2. Approaching exit 2, continue following the line on the right to stay on the roundabout. Another lane drops off and we're now in lane 1. We want to leave the roundabout at the next exit, so now we swap to following the line on the left, which again happens to be the curb, and that curb will draw us off the roundabout to exit number 3. We joined in lane 3 with traffic on our left, but as the lane spiralled around the roundabout, lanes dropped off at each exit. So as we reached our exit, there was no traffic on our left. Let's look at another example. It's the same roundabout, but from a different direction. I'm going to be turning right exit number 3, so while there are only 2 lanes, I've chosen the right hand lane because I'm turning right. And as the road widens out, I choose lane number 3 because I'm going to exit number 3. As I join the roundabout, I focus on following the line on my right to draw me around the roundabout and keep me in my lane. I'll follow the line on the right past exit number 1. And I'll continue to follow the line on my right as I go past exit number 2 once this guy gets out of the way. So follow the line on my right to keep me on the roundabout. Now as I approach exit number 3, I want to leave, so I'm now following the line on my left, which again happens to be the curb, to draw me safely off the roundabout, and I'm done. Our starting point for multi-lane roundabouts should always be to simply match our lane number to our exit number, as we've already seen. Often though, there will be more than one lane going to the same exit, giving us a choice. Choosing the lane number which matches your exit number should always work on a multi-lane roundabout, but sometimes you might want to make a different choice. In this example, I'm going to go to exit number 2 and I've chosen lane number 2. But notice that lane 1 does not have a left only arrow in it this time. This means it won't drop at exit 1, so it will continue around the roundabout. That means on this occasion I've got a choice to either use lane 1 or lane 2 to get to exit 2. If it was safe to do so, I could now move into lane 1 on the approach to the roundabout. But for this example, I'm going to continue in lane 2 and show you that matching my lane number to my exit number does work. And then I'll show you another example of using lane 1 and explain the differences. I want exit 2, so I'm not leaving at the first exit, so I'm going to focus on following the line on my right to draw me further around the roundabout and past this exit. I want to leave at exit 2 and I've passed the first exit already, so now I focus on following the line on my left to draw me off the roundabout so I leave. On this occasion it's not a curb I'm following, so I have to work quite hard at spotting the line that I need to follow to draw me off the roundabout. Now that I'm off the roundabout, these two lanes are merging into one, so I've got to work at finding a safe gap for me to move across to the left. Having to change lanes just after leaving a roundabout like this can put you under quite a lot of pressure, particularly when the person in front of you slows down as they did in this case. It can feel like you're running out of road quite quickly, especially when everyone is speeding up having just left the roundabout. Also, the white lines painted on the roundabout wear out as people drive over them, so it can be quite difficult to spot the line you need to follow. Curbs don't wear out and are easier to follow. So for these reasons, I prefer to leave a roundabout in the left-hand lane next to the curb wherever possible. In this example, if I'd have chosen lane 1 instead of lane 2, I would have left next to the curb and not been under any pressure to change lanes just after leaving the roundabout. So on this occasion, I would have chosen lane 1 for exit 2, because it would make my life easier, and I'm all for an easy life. But if you're not sure which lane to pick, match your lane to your exit number and it will work out. So now we're going to drive the same junction again, but this time to get to exit 2 I'm going to choose the leftmost lane, which allows me to go there, which on this occasion is lane number 1. Remember, the arrows say we have a choice in this lane to either continue ahead or to leave at exit 1. I don't want to leave at exit 1 because I'm going to exit 2, so I need to follow the line on my right to draw me further round the roundabout so I can continue on, rather than following the curb on my left, which would draw me off, which is not what I want to do. As I enter the roundabout, you can clearly see the lane widening and the fact that if I follow the line on the right, it draws me around the roundabout. My lane choice this time has now put me next to the curb, which is much easier to follow as I leave, and also means I don't have to worry about any traffic on my left as I leave the roundabout or just after, when the lanes merge. So as I get ready to leave, I'm focused on following the curb, which won't wear out, unlike the white line. And I'm in no pressure to move across to the left because I'm already in the left lane next to the curb as these lanes merge. So, to summarise, generally match your lane number to your exit number. For example, if you're going to exit number 3, choose lane number 3. Then, if there's time, check to see if there are multiple lanes going to the same destination. And if there are, and if it's safe to do so, choose the leftmost lane of the set of lanes which goes to your exit. But of course, if you don't feel it's safe to change lanes, then just stay in the one you're in. Most important of all, once you've chosen your lane, stay in it as you drive around the roundabout. Do this by following the line on your right to help you stay in your lane while you're driving around the roundabout, and only follow the line on your left when it's time to leave. Choosing the lane number which matches your exit number will work 99% of the time. Choosing the leftmost lane of a set of lanes going to the same destination is generally preferable because it makes your life easier, but it's not essential. And of course, there are the odd exceptions where it would actually be better to choose the rightmost lane of a set of lanes. These situations are rare, but it's important to cover it here. Hopefully you've already watched my Roundabouts Part 2 video about double roundabouts and you'll be familiar with this slide. The same applies here. If there are two junctions close together, you need to take the second junction into account as you position on your approach to the first junction. If you want to turn right just after leaving a roundabout, it doesn't make much sense to leave the roundabout in the left-hand lane next to the curb and then have to quickly move across to the right-hand lane to turn right. So in this example, we're going to exit number 2, but we've chosen lane number 3 rather than lane number 2. This is the rightmost lane going to our destination, and we've chosen it because we're turning right immediately after leaving exit number 2. As usual, we need to follow the line on our right to draw us around the roundabout because we don't want to leave at exit number 1. And then as we approach exit number 2, we swap to following the line on our left to draw us off the roundabout. Notice the arrow indicates we have a choice in this lane, either to leave or to continue around the roundabout. We want to leave, so we're going to follow the line on the left to draw us off. Although we do have a lane of traffic on our left, it shouldn't cause us any issues as we don't want to move left. We want to move right to turn right at these traffic lights. Notice how short the stretch of road was between leaving the roundabout and needing to position into this lane to turn at the traffic lights. If we had exited the roundabout in the left-hand lane next to the curb, it would have been very difficult, if not impossible, to safely get across into this lane in time to turn at the traffic lights. These sorts of situations are rare, and in this case you'd need local knowledge to know there was a junction after the roundabout. This junction wasn't indicated on any signs as we approached the roundabout. So if you're dealing with a multi-lane roundabout that you haven't met before, the safest thing to do is simply to match your lane number to your exit number. And if there's a choice of lanes, choose the leftmost lane of the set of lanes going to the same exit. If this means you're unable to make a turn just after the roundabout, like this example here, then just continue in the left-hand lane and further down the road find somewhere to turn around and come back. Safety first. I hope this video has helped to demystify multi-lane roundabouts for you and that you feel a bit more confident to deal with them now. Some of these concepts can take a little while to get used to, so I recommend you watch the video again as many times as you want. As ever, I'd really appreciate it if you would like and comment on the video. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll be notified when I release my next video. I hope the video has helped. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.